गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेदवेदान्तवेदाङ्ग विद्यास्थानेभ्य एव च सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो वरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We'll chant mantra number 7. स यथा सौम्य वयांसि वासो वृक्षं संप्रतिष्ठन्ते एवं हवै तत्सर्वं परे आत्मनि संप्रतिष्ठते। नेक्स्ट। पृथ्वी च पृथ्वी मात्रा च आपश्च आपो मात्रा च Tejascha Tejo Matracha Vayuscha Vayu Matracha Akashascha Akashamatracha Chakshuscha Drashtavyancha Shrotancha Shrotavyancha Granancha Gratavyancha Rasascha Rasaitavyancha Tvakcha Sparshaitavyancha Vakcha Vaktavyancha Hastaucha Adatavyancha Upasthascha Anandaitavyancha Payuscha Visarjaitavyancha Padaucha Gantavyancha Manascha Mantavyancha Buddhischa Bodhavyancha Ahankarascha Ahankartavyancha Chittancha Chetaitavyancha Tejascha Vidyotaitavyancha Pranascha Vidharaitavyancha. We had seen the fourth question of the fourth Prashna. And the fourth question of the fourth Prashna was, what was that fourth question? See, this should be in perfect straight line center of Lord Shiva. So you can do one thing, that Murti which is there, it is epicenter. You can bring it here. So this is slightly shifted here, very slight. It should be here, little, maybe few inches. And this should be marked so that we don't shift, slightly shifted. We had seen that the fourth question of fourth Prashna was, who experiences the bliss in deep sleep? And see, it is going to become subtler now. Till now it was little grosser. So we had heard that Upanishad is already assuming that you know that there is a bliss in deep sleep. And by saying that there is a bliss in deep sleep, Upanishad is saying that. Nobody else is saying that there is something present whose deep sleep, whose joy is there. Because there is no experience of the five elements and there is no experience of the sense organ and there is no experience of the mind, etc. Therefore, the point which was driven here, that there is a self in the deep sleep, number 1 point, and number 2 point, that self is of the nature of bliss. When I say bliss word, or very commonly used word is joy, generally I will use two words now. One is called experiential. When the same self is the nature of the self expresses in the mind, then we generally use the word joy, etc. But the substantial nature of the self is actually anantam and not anandam. So, anand word is used in the experiential realm. Although loosely we do say that the self is of the nature of Anand, which is not wrong. But strictly speaking, the self is of the nature of Anantam or infiniteness. And that infiniteness expressing through mind, intellect, etc. is called Anandam. So Anantata and Anandata is of the same. But Anand word is used from experiential standpoint, and Anantata word or infiniteness word is used from substantial standpoint. Therefore, both comes in Upanishad. In Taittiriya it comes Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. But in Chandogya it comes yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Or in Taittiriya also in the same Valli it comes raso vaisa. But you have to understand that. Not that self is very exciting. It's not like that. Very joyful, exciting. It's not that joy we are talking of. बड़ा आनंद आया वो आनंद वन नहीं है ऐसा. You're not talking of that joy. Experience of limitlessness of the self is in the deep sleep. Please note my point. Because in the deep sleep state, the purpose was not to tell that Prajna experiences the joy in the deep sleep, which was the direct question as to who experiences joy in the deep sleep. So yesterday we saw that there was a vritti called a bhavakara vritti, and only one vritti was there. That was merging, same was emerging. And because that vritti was closest to the self. Normally, supposing I take any thought, I take the thought of flower. Ab in this thought of flower, that Anand is not reflected. Because before that thought of flower, already many other vrittis are already there. So already there is a thick layer of vritti before this is there. Already I have impression is there. I have other issues there. There are 100 other thoughts are there. And this vritti comes and goes very fast also. By the time I see flower, I see another thing also. So there is a very finite perception for a short time of all other vrittis. And therefore the Anand or the self which is reflected is very splintered. Very splintered Anand is there. It is scattered and splintered Anand is there. And therefore we don't experience that much of joy. Especially supposing you have certain notions are sitting in your mind that this should have happened, this should not have happened, I wanted this and it is I'm not getting. So already that impression has blocked your reflection in that. And after that reflection is blocked, or I will say blurred, if not totally blocked, it is blurred. So every vritti will not have that fulfillment and joy. Supposing you had some a bad experience or not very happy experience yesterday or today, and now other thoughts are there, so you will not be feeling that joyous because already the reflection has been blocked or blurred because of that notion. And therefore sometime you must be experiencing that you are supposing something has come in your mind or something has happened, and that made you little sad or upset, and you go out and somebody is joking, so you don't feel like smiling because that vritti, already that vritti is there, but because of the reflections already not there, it is not expressing in no joy is there after that. And supposing you are very cheerful, there is no issues in your mind, very carefree mind is there. So simple things you will become very quiet. And therefore I had told many times that Anand is not the nature of joy or nature of the world, but it is the reflection of the self in the thought of that particular object which we have superimposed on the object. The joy was in the reflection of the self in the thought. But I have superimposed that joy, that I am getting this joy from the object because of ignorance. You gave me this flower. I say, see, this flower is giving me joy. It's not like that. Because I have the vasana of this flower and the color of that, so this vasana has projected the thought in my mind, and anything which you have vasana, in that light of consciousness shines much brighter. And therefore, actually, this is giving me joy and not the flower. World does not have the nature of giving you joy. But by ignorance, I have superimposed that joy which was inside on the flower, and I say, this thing is giving me joy, or this eatable is giving me joy, this scene is giving me joy. So two things. One thing was that there is someone in the deep sleep. This is not vacuum and shunya, as the Buddhist said. And what was second thing? That it is of the nature of completeness. The joy is actually the experience of limitlessness in self. That is called joy, or that is called Anand here. So this is etat sukham bhavati. So that is this is what you have to keep in. Very big proof is there in Shastra that Atma is of the nature of fulfillment. Because there is nothing else in deep sleep. There is no object, there is no other thought, there is no one whom you like that you experience in deep sleep. If the self was not of the nature of anantata, then in the deep sleep you wouldn't be relaxed. You wouldn't have one thought of that I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. I hope you have understood it, and if you have not understood that, so you have to revise and recollect again. Okay, again we will come back. Yesterday you heard a bhavakar vritti, so you will get it or catch it. So tada etasmin sharire etat sukham bhavati. Chale aage. Is it fine? Sign? So you continue making your notes. Those verbally, still we have to make notes. Course is over, still notes you can make. Oh my God, I thought course is over. Dress also change. Notes also is not there. I couldn't recognize some of you. So, so that's your choice. But notes, try to make it. It is a good way of revising it actually. It will reinforce the same thing. This way you write some Sanskrit words which you avoid in the notes as much as possible. I know all the tricks. You put in English so that there is no spelling mistake. And if you write very small words, deva, like that. Where you don't have to put lot of time. Try to improve your handwriting, Sanskrit handwriting. Try to improve that. Lot of handwriting I don't see very good in Sanskrit. One day I'll show you how to write each letter. Each letter, how you can write it beautifully also. Ka you have to write, how to write, how your hand should move in writing ka. What are some people are doing? They do like this first, one line vertical, then one hook, knob here, 0. Then half hook here. So this knob is big, this hook is so small. As if saving ink. You should not lift your hand in writing ka. How will you not? You have to start from here, here. Similarly, ka, you have to start here, and here. I'm not saying in all letter you don't need, but maximum letter you need not lift your hand. And it should come out beautiful also. Somewhere where knob is required, no, ga, we have to write some like this here. Knob has to be there, ga. I write here, and there is no, and here. As if two lines are there, one is small, other is big line. So you try to write it as it is. Anyway, that is not, Sanskrit class is not going on, but I just say, like you have tried to write many words. So, you try to write. Even if it is not correct, try to write. You will get. Try to give time to studies. Ashram is meant for study, meditation, contemplation. This is what my concept of ashram is. You have to study satsang, contemplation, archana, puja, jap. The whole schedule should be a string of opportunities to remember God and not to fight with each other. So, well, who is fighting here? We don't have time. The problem is this. By the time you remember, I have to say this, explain this, already other class is there. So, empty mind, devil's workshop, you have heard. So you have no empty time here. So try to write the notes, those who can, and I'll see that. So you will feel benefited. Tomorrow when you want to refer, you can have ready-made notes are there. This Anita who comes, Anita, she was very good notes writer. She used to write lot of notes. Her whole room is got full with, and Dr. Bhima also. Dr. Bhima was very busy. But you won't believe, every day he wrote notes when I asked him. He was a good student of Vedanta. He is no more, but he used to study. And problem only was when the patients came. Whole time he gave more on Vedanta rather than the problem of the body. है ना? I did not go, but Koshki was telling that. Huh? Notes? Acha, So he used to say like that. Chalo, but let's see if he is no more. Anyway, so get this point of Sushupti. Sushupti, don't think it's a very mysterious topic. I don't like the word mysterious for Vedanta because it is clear. World is mysterious. Maya is mysterious. Mysterious is anirvachani. But Vedanta is not mysterious means something is smoky, not very clear, difficult and not clear. It's not the mysterious self is there. There is no place for mysticism in Vedanta. No magic, nothing is there. It is a pramana. So you heard that the now very important point, which is where your attention should have gone, that in the deep sleep, because 5 elements are not experienced, sense organs are not experienced, the mind is not there. So what is there? Something has to be there. It is not shunya. Because if shunya will be there, then Shankaracharya Bhagavan says in Dakshina Murti Stotram, Rahu grasta divakarendu sadrisha maya samachhadanat sanmatra karanopsamhrata yo bhut sushupta puman praga swap samati prabodha samay ya pratyabhignayate tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Buddhists said that, see, you are all confused people. There is shunya and nothing in deep sleep. There is no I experienced in the deep sleep. And to counter it, Shankaracharya ji said, please get this point. Rahu grasta diva karendu sadrisha maya samachhadanat. He says that before you slept, you know that I am sleeping. I am going to sleep. And you slept. Supposing there is nothing, that nothing means that I is also not in the deep sleep. I is also not in the deep sleep. And now you got up. When you got up, then what is the point? You remember. Yesterday I used one was pratyabhigya, if you remember, recognition. And pratyabhigya word is very significant. It will be coming very frequently. You know yourself at that time. I am. I woke up. But you also know the one who slept alone has woke up. So I recognize myself not as a new entity. Not that any fresh person has now emerged in the world. It is the same person who slept, is the same one who has got up. That is called pratyabhigya. So before sleeping, he was there. After sleeping, same is obtained. That means during sleeping also it should be there. If I put out one wire I put here, and the same wire I take it out from this side, then it is understood that in between that same wire should be there, although it is veiled. This is the logic he has used there. And then he says, Rahu gasta divakar indu sadrisha. Divakar means sun. And Indu means the moon. Like the Rahu, eclipse is there. Rahu grasta divakar indu sadrisha maya samachhadanat. Because of ignorance, what I call it abhavakar vritti, this in the deep sleep, that self was as if veiled. And I did not know myself. I did not know myself does not mean you are absent totally. If you are absent totally, then a fresh entity should be there. Then you should not say, I was the same one who slept, who is getting up now. If you are using the statement that what I am now is the same one who had slept yesterday night, that means in between also he should not be lost. Very beautiful point he had mentioned there. This is in 6th verse of, I think 6th of Dakshinamurti Stotram. If anybody chants Dakshinamurti, you chant Dakshinamurti Stotram, chant. When? Every day. अरे वाह, तो याद होगा ये तो. अच्छा तो ठीक है, याद कर लो इसको. बोले so many things remember है, तो काम ही क्या है? बोले इतना काम है, बस everything I remember. Because of remembering the shloka, I forgot all my work. So Rahu Gras Divakar, you pakad mein aaya ye wali logic. Remember, yesterday also used the word pratyabhijna. Although it is translated as recognition, but I am not very happy with recognition. Chalo use kar lenge, but the right word is pratyabhijna. And pratyabhijna means, don't forget for whole life, if I am seeing you rightly, so I am seeing you after I see you, what I experience right now. There is a memory, there is a mixture of memory of the past and experience of the present about the same object when it is there. That is called pratyabhijna. When there is one object is there, about that I have experience in the present, and about that I have memory of the past of the same, then it is called pratyabhijna. Because I got up and I have the memory also, I slept at 10 o'clock last night and I got up at 6 o'clock. I was the same one. So that means pratyabhijna praman is there. I hope you understood that point. And many times ulta bhi ho jata hai. You see somebody and by mistake you remember that he is the same person. So it happens, here also it happened many times with me. I said, "Arey, kahan the?" Coming after a long time, bahut din baad dikhe, he turned, he was another person. You say, sorry, I mistook. Because whom I saw, memory of somebody else I superimposed. So pratyabhijna की एक सौतेली बहन है, सौतेली बहन, स्टेप सिस्टर, और उसका नाम है ब्रह्म. Illusion, like snake and rope is there. You saw a snake, but on the same you saw rope. It was better to say that this is called rope because this is what I was taught. This is called rope. ये अब हो गया. But he superimposed snake memory. He superimposed on the rope perception. अब ये गलत हो गया. This is not pratyabhijna. On the same, if the rope memory was on the rope, then I could have said it pratyabhijna. But on the rope perception, I have a snake memory, then it is called Brahm, that is, you are deluded. I hope you understood that. So in the deep sleep, you cannot say nobody was there. I want to say like that. And if somebody is there, and because you have no experience of time, space, object, sense organ, there is no limiting adjuncts. And that is a very master point. And therefore, that cannot be finite, and there is no sorrow there. And therefore, deep sleep is isht of somebody. Everybody, isht of everybody. Isht means wanted. And because it is a self only, isht means wanted. What you want, crave for. Crave for. And actually all these things, people who resort to drinking or drugs or what is it called, what kind of something to delude yourself. Many things can be there, I don't know. It is all for going near that state. because you have to forget. You want to forget this. You want to forget this, so you go in your own dream world, and maybe some delusion you want to go, because you cannot take this mind. ठीक है ना? One point is written. I will touch upon that, and I will leave that point to you to think upon. Here Bhashyakar says, you can open the Bhashya. I don't know which page is there. Sa yada tejaso vibhuta, that mantra, which page is there? And that third line is there. Yada manaha daru agnivat. Which page is there? Yada manaha, 73. You can read the Hindi one. Hindi page 73. So you can see which line is there. Yada manaha, 17. 7th line. Yada manaha daru agnivat avishesh vijnana rupena kritsnam shariram vyapya avatishtade tada sushupto bhavati. Atre tasmin kale esh mana akhyo devah swapna na darshan dvarasya niruddhatvat tejasa. Just a small point I will say, and I will leave that. What he is saying, daru. Daru doesn't mean that daru. Daru means wood. In Sanskrit, daru is the meaning of wood. Don't mix Hindi here. Hindi wale khush ho gaye. So, yada manaha daru agnivat. Like the, dhyan dena, like the fire is pervading the wood. Which fire? Not burnt fire. Not, there also fire is there. Not manifested fire. Unmanifested fire is there in the wood. When you burn it, you bring it out. But similarly, in the deep sleep, avishesh vijnan rupena krishnam shariram vyapya tishtase. There is one vritti. There is one avishesh vijnan. Avishesh vijnan is there. Avishesh vijnan. So there is a vritti which pervades the whole body. That is what you were talking about yesterday as... No. Nidra vritti is different. Nidra vritti was defined as abhav pratyalambana vritti. But this is another vritti is there. Which is, because every vritti is typical vritti is there. Every vritti is something like it has an object, specific thought is there. This is not a specific thought. This is a thought which is pervading the whole body. And when you shake a person or touch that person, this vritti is shaken up, and this goes to that jeev and tries to bring up that samskar and wake him up. Therefore, the touching has a lot to do with waking. Supposing you are fast asleep and somebody just holds your hand to wake you up. So he's holding hand, and if you are not very deep sleeper, by holding hand only you will get up. Generally one should touch the feet, not the hand. And still he doesn't get up. You shake or you tap slightly. What happened at that time is there is already one avishesh, non-specific thought pervading the body. That non-specific thought, when it is shaken up, it goes to that jeev whose all thoughts are in unmanifest, and provokes that unmanifest to manifest. And when that unmanifest thought manifests, and then a person gets out of the sleep. So if there was no connection between this and that, who will communicate to get up? I hope you understood that. But when a person is under anesthesia and he is totally fainted, then this vritti is not available as to communicate with that unmanifest mind. So unmanifest mind is already there, but this outer vritti which pervades, please note this is a non-specific vritti, there is no, so even if you tap that person, he won't get up because he is in swoon or in anesthesia, and therefore he can be performed operation also, he will not, this vritti also disappeared, so there is no waker of that. So when the anesthesia time goes, then this vritti will come out. Similarly, if sound is there or touch is there, then this vritti will specifically get up. This is called avishesh vigyan rupena krishnam shariram vyapya vatisthate. Just a side note, if you have not understood, please leave it. Hare. Yes, now I'll go to the next verse. Well, please tell me more. No, let's go now. Please, no. So it is said here. So this is Swarup Sukham is there. Is it clear, no? So there is no other, no specific thought is there. Swarup Sukham is there. विशेष विज्ञान रूप विक्षेप अभावे निर्वातस्थ दीप प्रभावत सम्यक प्रकाशते. Next, स यथा सौम्य, 7th mantra. O Soumya, Soumya means whose appearance is like the moon, very, who is very having cool demeanor is there. Vayamsi vaso vriksham sampratisthante. Vayansi means pakshi, birds. Vayas, sakara napunsakling is there. Vaya, vayamsi, vayasi, vayamsi. So like vayamsi, birds are there, birds. And vaso vriksham means tree residence. Vriksham means tree. And vaso means residence is there. So some trees are there where the birds can easily put their nests. Not every tree is conducive for, like palm trees there. It is difficult for the birds to put the nest somewhere. The leaves are like that. But some trees are more conducive for the birds to build their nest. So they are called vaso vriksham. So sampratishtante, as the birds goes to their trees, birds go to their respective trees. Similarly, evam havai tat sarvam. All sarvam here means everything. Which everything? Huh? This will be told in next two mantras. In 8 and 9, what is everything? The big mantras which I chanted. So that is description of that. So wait, have patience. So evam havai tat sarvam pare atmani. Everything is resolved in the self. Everything is resolved in the self. Not dissolved, resolved. It goes back into the self. Acha? Ha. So teshu shant etasmin kale avidya kam karma nibandhanani karya karanani shantani bhavanti. Teshu shanteshu atma swarupam upadhibhi अन्यथा विभाव्यमानम अद्वयम ekam shivam shantam bhavati. So this is being now told. Now please understand one or 2 points. One day I told sanghatasya pararthatvat. Any composition is for something other than the composition. If you remember, I had told this in the last Prashna, I think. And I give the example of a car and the driver. So car is a composition and car driver is not a part of a car. He is not the steering, he is not the window pane, he is not the door, he is not the doormat. All the people treat him like that. Or he is not the bulb. Any composition is for someone who is not a part of the composition. Now, if this is the case, and similarly, house example also was given, car example was given. This whole world is in common. I say composition where interlocked and interdependent things are there. Like eyes are dependent on form, form is dependent on eyes. Mind is dependent on vasana, vasana is dependent on mind. They are called part of a composition. That dependence where there is interlocked and interdependent existence is there, that is called composition. Body cannot be without mind, mind cannot express without body. So they are all a part of a composition. And all the composition which is there, after all the composition has dissolved. And how this composition was there? This composition was the product of ignorance. How do you know? How do you know this composition is a product of ignorance? Because it gets negated by anything, this composition is a product of ignorance. Because with the knowledge of the self, this will be negated. This will not be seen as it is. Everything will not be seen as it is. Acha, and it is a product of ignorance. Why it is a product of ignorance? Because everything is seen by something called thought. Avidya kam karma nibandhanani karya karanani. And when thoughts are quiet, this composition is also quiet. If thoughts are there, then composition is also there. So when the thought and thought itself is because of ignorance. Why? Why thought is because of ignorance? Why? No, I've already told that subtle portion will start now. You did not believe that. It could have started after the course, after 20th. Please note, thought is made out of two parts. In the thought, there is knowingness and there is inertness called the object. If thought was totally inert, it would not illuminate. And if thought was totally consciousness, then also it won't change. So thought has two aspects. One is changing aspect is the object of the thought. Like I have a thought of flower, then I have a thought of book, I have a thought of copy, I have a thought of paperweight. But in changing all the thought, there is an illumination aspect in the thought. So that illumination aspect is the consciousness. And that shape aspect is the inertness. Now the shape and the illumination aspect both are mixed to make a thought. And when both are mixed to make a thought, that itself is a big predicament. Because the consciousness cannot mix with any object. Now there is a mixture of inertness and consciousness, which is not possible. Because consciousness is partless and the object is with part. So part cannot mix with partness, with partless. Like the space partless is space cannot mix with anything else. Now because partless and part are mixed to make a thought, a working thought, operatable thought, therefore this possibility is not there for a thought to exist because this mixture is not possible. But it is perceptible. Therefore, thought itself is not a provable thing, and therefore thought itself is mithya. जड़ चेतन ग्रंथि परिजाई यद्यपि मृषा बूझत कठिनाई. So, samujhat कठिनाई. It is mrisha. It cannot be true. So, the thought itself is not true. And everything of the composition is known only by thought. And therefore, from the false, if you are knowing something, it can never be true. All will be false. And therefore, when thought is not there, nothing is seen, like in the deep sleep. And therefore, when the thought is not there, we have only perception of the self in the deep sleep. That means everything was on the thought. And thought, because it is false, it should be based on something true, which is the self, which is the consciousness. And that upadhi of the self is called the thought. So thought has become conditioning, as if. And it is now conditioning the self. And I am saying, I am walking, I am sleeping, I am man. All are the conditioning I have superimposed on I. But moment I remove this conditioning, slowly thought goes away. So that self remains, which is infinite, which is Shivam Shantam, etc. Now to show that whole world, and therefore any ignorance and product of ignorance will always be based on knowledge and truth. Dhyan dena. To tell this point that all these are only based on self. You cannot have makeup without the face, I always say. So if you are having false, then there has to be something true on which false can be based. False cannot be based on itself without the truth. This is the point which you should keep in mind, please. Well, I did not understand anything what you said. Anyway, it was false. You have to understand that. Then only you will be established. Now this sixth prashna is the main prashna here. Or the fifth prashna, fifth question. Fifth question was on the turi, not taroi. Not vegetable taroi. Well, the whole world is based on eating taroi. That is not that. Taroi is a vegetable. Taroi is different, turi is different. ये तरोई नहीं है. ये तरोई नहीं है. Here you also get taroi. It's a loki kind of thing. उसी family का है. Only where from where you go. देखो भाई, the fifth prashna was, fifth question. Don't mix the prashna. I'm using the word prashna for the students. Sorry, Aryani, Garge. And he has 6 questions, 5 questions. So fourth prashna had 5 questions. And fifth question of the fourth prashna was on what the whole world is based on. I remember that. Then we said everything goes back to the self. Then we said, just now I said, that whole world What will be world? Prithvi, etc., sense organ, everything is based on mind called thought. And that thought is based on self. But just now we concluded that thought itself is mithya. And when thought is false and mithya cannot be independent. You cannot see the false snake without a rope. You cannot see mirage water without the desert. You cannot see dream without the baker. You cannot see the ghost without the post. Similarly, you cannot see the thought unless there is something real behind the thought. Thought goes back in the self and comes out from the self. But all this world is false because that itself is seen because of thought. And therefore, whole world will be based on the Atma, like the birds are on the tree residence. Tree. Don't take it literally, because birds can leave the tree. Any example will have some limitation. This example is only to tell that birds are in the tree. Don't say bird ran away and left another tree. Therefore, this sense organ ran away without the tree. My sense organ are tree. No, and a bird. And Atma is like tree. And all the sense organ flew today, and they are not coming back. Don't stretch too much any example. When it is said, no, her face is like a moon. So that is only means that she is beautiful. Don't say, but craters are in the moon, and therefore on her face, therefore there are some dark spots. This is not the meaning there. We are not going to say that aspect, that there are dark spots like the moon. Don't stretch too much. Stop it there only. Don't try to be over intelligent where it is not required. He is lion. It doesn't mean that he is lion so he eats everybody. He is lion only to tell fearlessness. Only fearlessness has to be told that he is a lion. Gurudev roared like lion, or Lala Lajpat Rai was a lion. Don't stretch too much here and there. Okay. This example what is given, I hope you got it. As in the tree, all birds are there. Similarly in the self, all the beings are there. Pare Atmani Sampratishthate. This is the meaning. And I told you how. Two-tier arrangement is there. Whole world is based on thought. Thought is seen on the self. And therefore whole world is seen on the self. And what is the world? That will be mentioned tomorrow. Because you have Archana. Oh. पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।